So hello everyone and welcome to this arena game on this Friday night. This is a record game given to us by Mr. GPN. Mr. GPN is joining me today. This is his first time on Voobly Official, and he's a pretty decent arena player if I don't say so myself. So we're going to be watching Glokken and JonSlow. Glokken is playing as the Portuguese in the top right, and I have him as orange. In the bottom left, I have JonSlow playing as the Aztecs. What do you know about these players?
Glocken's just generally a very good 2K player. He's been around for quite a long time, and he's known as just the local pervert in everyone's streams, if you've seen him around. He's actually, just a very good player, but he's also quite a nice guy. Terror is just, obviously, the arena legend himself. You can't have an arena game without Terror, can you?
No, you can't, and both these players are basically arena specialists, if I'm not mistaken. JonSlow is one of the most entertaining arena players. I won't say he's like maybe top 5 in the world, but he's certainly super entertaining on arena. He's got a very unorthodox, if you will, play style. And I can't wait to see what he's going to do in this game. He's got to love his civilization. Aztec's probably, I imagine, the civilization he feels most comfortable in. Very strong arena civilization. Portuguese as well, I think, could be a strong arena civilization as well. Certainly, would you prefer the Aztecs in the situation?
I would definitely prefer Aztecs. Something that's strong about the Portuguese is that organ guns have actually come into their own recently. But on arena, you're mainly wanting to use them against civs without redemption. Redemption's kind of one of the key things to beating them in arena. But they have really good monks because, that gold discount to their monks is really, really strong.
Yeah, so the Portuguese are a civilization. It's not very good in Dark and Feudal Age. You don't have to worry about that so much on arena, a map with tons of walls. And you're right, all their monks are discounted, their siege is discounted, all the late game units that might cost a lot of gold is discounted, so that's a good bonus for them. They got a lot of monk technologies. The organ guns certainly can be a very strong unit, although the Aztec monks might be a good counter to that this game. And yeah, I remember watching the Viper play against Doubt and utilizing that arquebus bonus with the bombard cannons, and that certainly was a very big asset to a civilization.
Well, I mean, hopefully we see some good play from Terror here as Aztecs. I mean, Aztecs generally is a civ win against most civs, has a lot of counters. I mean, that's probably the best Dark Age eco of any civ. It's kind of just been a long time thing. But that as well as their late game tech tree, they've got really good monks, but they've got really good siege onager, they've got siege ram, they've got arbalast in case they need them. They've got, decent eco warriors. Everything's just pretty good about Aztecs. You can't really fault them. But,
yeah, great economy with their +5 carry capacity and great farms. All their monks getting extra HP, great monk technologies, relics gaining more gold, and of course the all-powerful eco warrior. So yeah, I like the Aztecs a little bit more in this matchup. Taking a look at JonSlow's map, he's probably going to play aggressive this game, so I assume it doesn't play that much of a big role, but he's got 2 forward golds, a stone that could be vulnerable, and no extra resources in the back. And taking a look at Glocken's map, he's got 3 extra golds in the back. If JonSlow wants to play this aggressive and Glokken wants to boom a little in the back, he might have a little bit leeway here with all that extra space and gold. What do you think?
Well, I mean, there's only 2 extra golds on arena, and Glocken has them both for free, as well as a safe second gold. So, I mean, with that main gold, that is scoutable. So if Terror scouts that, and for example on the left side of Glocken's base, you've also got the outside second gold. You can see Terror thinking that this is a vulnerable map and trying to push it, and then being unsuccessful because of all the safe golds in the back. But again, this is Terror. So any vill he kills, he tends to idle for about as much. So we're going to see some very.
So he better make the damage.
I have recently seen him do some quite fast ups with things like Aztecs. He actually, he's starting to learn his builds.
He's starting to learn his builds. Wow! Imagine what kind of threat he could become. So we all agree that the Aztecs is the better civilization here. If you're Glokken, what would be your strategy right now as you're going up to the feudal age pretty soon?
I wouldn't really try to aim for the late game. You definitely could though. Both are fairly reasonable powerhouses. I don't like Portuguese too much, but I would probably like to. I mean, you got to consider the Aztecs are going to go for the relics, and you need to really deny them. Otherwise, they're just going to be way too strong with relics. So you want maybe 4. 3's maybe a bit little. So I would probably plan to start off with something like scouts, and if he goes eagles, go something like light cav. Just something to take map control as you reach into castle age, so you can get the relics. Not so you could really have the gold, but to take it away from the Aztec player.
And do you think you continue scouts going into the Castle Age, or how would you defend from the monks? Eventually, you're going to have to defend from those monks.
I mean, scouts is just generally a good opening because it gets you map control for a brief portion of time, unless they're going scouts back. And you know, if they do try and forward, they're denied. If they do try to, what am I thinking of? If they do try to make monks, then obviously you've already got a stable up. You already have a couple of scouts, so it's quite cheap to take into light cav, and you could actually do some damage on the smush.
Do you mind if I throw out like an unorthodox strategy that I haven't seen, but theoretically, do you think it's possible if you know that JonSlow is going to go with the monk rush, which it's pretty likely is Aztecs? Do you think it's possible to defend with like guard towers?
Yeah, guard tower is one of the top ways to defend against the smush because they shred the mangonels and also they kill the monks. And if they try to make, for example, rams, you could just mangonel behind the guard tower, and those mangonels can't be converted because the guard tower is really going to kill them. So it's.
What's with the chat? Why?
I'm seeing it.
Why?
It's just some classic terror.
Well, what happened? What is there some laming or something, or are they trash talking for absolutely no reason?
This is just straight up trash talking. There's like, yeah. Does this with his friends.
I've never seen it unprovoked. I know these players are. Arena players are typically known for trash talking, but I've never seen it unprovoked with like no rhyme or reason whatsoever. That's pretty funny.
Something I'm also going to mention over here is that Terror is now patching the hole in his wall because he's just given up with pushing the deer. He's only pushed one, I think. So he's just like, screw this, I'm gonna.
It's too much energy, I suppose, to push those deer. Looks like JonSlow, of course, will go with a monk rush. He's going Market Blacksmith. I can't assume he's going to add town centers. Let's take a look at their scouting, because we haven't done that quite yet. So JonSlow sees only one relic on the map, and taking a look at Glokken's scouting, Glokken sees one relic on the map, but has a better idea of what JonSlow's base looks like. Why don't you think JonSlow goes out and tries to scout the map? Do you think he's just being a little lazy here?
In Feudal Age, the Eagle Scout is weaker than the normal Scout.
Okay.
And if he's not going Scouts, then that's quite important. If I was him, I would go straight Eagle Scouts though, because I'm pretty sure about this, but in Castle Age, the Eagle Scout beats an unupgraded Light Cav, as far as I'm aware.
I've never tried it myself, but I would certainly believe that. So looking at Glokken's build, this to me looks like, can you tell me anything about his build? He doesn't have a lot of farms and doesn't have a lot of gold either, so I'm guessing like a boom.
Oh, this would be a boom, but is he going to mill those berries in the back, or is he just going back there to place a TC? Yeah, I reckon he's going to try and TC between that gold and that berries, if I imagine right. So yeah, I mean, he's a little bit, though he is actually quite heavy on wood.
Yeah, so interestingly decided not to go scouts. Do you know any reason for that? We thought that scouts would be the appropriate option here. Do you think that's, do you think this is the right play at this point in the game?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think it's okay if he tries to pull off some kind of late game because, Portuguese can definitely have an edge with, cheaper +4 Cavalier in general is quite good against Aztecs. If they have monks, then you have a lot of different options, Arquebus, BBC even aren't that heavily countered, but they still are. So, if you have castles, maybe. I'm just not entirely sure, but I mean, going by Glocken's map, the extra golds in the back does suggest that boom might be quite easy if we see Terror do some kind of like all-in to attack where the gold is at the front. Because from there, it looks pretty safe walling, really. If you look where Glocken's TC is, you look towards his mill, you look towards the lumber camp on the right side. So quite a bit of a small wall he could really put up and just boom in the back. So
yeah, certainly that must be a big consideration into his strategy choice to go 3 town centers. Unfortunately, he's probably going to forfeit control of the relics to JonSlow. However, the last arena game that I casted, the one that went up to YouTube,
I saw that one.
Didn't collect any of the relics anyway.
Relics.
So, so maybe. Well, this game was played, of course, after, but I can't assume JonSlow was very, very adamant at getting those relics and going up to 2 monastery right away.
He idles every advantage he could get. Every advantage he gets himself, he idles for at least equal or more. But if he goes Smush, he likes to all in.
So Sanctity coming in already for JonSlow to make sure that his monks can survive against the Scout Cavalry, so they shouldn't really be scared of him. Let's see if they'll get an early conversion. Looks like Glokken will go back. Glokken, of course, wants to be able to pick off, even if he can pick off one monk or two, could really slow down the push of JonSlow. JonSlow, interestingly, not adding a Siege Workshop right away, going to add a Town Center onto his gold.
Where's he heading? I think Terra's just heading for that relic up at the top there.
Yeah, surprising play. Going for the relic first.
I don't think he's going to all-in Smush, but I think he's going for... I saw this with Vinch the other day via Smelkor. Vinch went, as Incas via Tutins, he went double Monastery just to get relics, and it worked quite well for him. Like, he successfully smushed Tutins in the end. It was weird.
Do you think JonSlow's going to add a... he's adding farms now, so... Who do you think will be first up at the Castle Edge? I have to imagine the Aztecs player would be faster up, but Glokken has gotten his town centers up a lot sooner.
My money here would be on Glokken being the first one up, because the standard 3TC boom, like direct 3TC boom, not getting relics, you're going to be imp by 27 minutes approximately. He's adding a fourth town center though. This is a little bit ballsy. I guess he's because he was expecting an early smush, but he hasn't seen any aggression yet, so he's...
Oh, he got a scout. He got a monk though. He's going to go for the second monk. Is he going to get it?
Yeah. He'll get it.
It's close? No,
that's
okay.
Hacks. That's straight up hacks. That's...
I don't think so. That monk was converting for quite a while before that. But that's pretty good to get one monk. I think he should have deleted the scout. That would have been a lot better. But
I only saw that one when I heard the conversion. I didn't see how much Glokken was wandering around. On this 4th TC, I reckon Glokken's probably going to be up around the later 28-minute mark. With Aztecs going a 2 TC push, it depends if he just wants to imp quite fast, you know, do like a fast 2 imp with a good 2 TC eco into something like Monks, Monk Treb, Monk whatever really, Monk Under even. Depends how crazy he is. This is Terror, I'm not entirely sure what to expect. But he could be up if he was doing that, but he needs to really push Glokken to delay Glokken so he's up first. But if he doesn't delay Glokken, then Glokken will be up first.
I'm not sure. I think JonSlow with one town center less, and he got the wheelbarrow a little bit earlier, and as well has that food advantage with the Aztecs. I think that JonSlow will be up first. But either way, I think that JonSlow needs to be able to push Glokken. I just, you know, late game, I think that for the most part, the Aztecs have the advantage at every stage of the arena matchup, except for late game, I might question it a little bit. I like the hand cannons from the Portuguese. Certainly, I think they'll be good against the Meso civilization. So I think if you're JonSlow, I'd like to see him push a little bit here. It looks like he's going to go forward with the Siege Workshop now.
Well, what I'm seeing here is, looking at the economy counts, Terror only has 18 farmers, so he just basically has a little bit more farmers than he needs to run his town centers. Whereas if we take a look at Glokken, Glokken has, you know, 11 villager lead, but his farmer count is so much higher. He's definitely looking to imp faster.
And here's the big upgrade. The big upgrade is going to be Redemption for JonSlow, and as well Glokken heavy into the economy with Handcart. So now we're seeing finally a differentiation in the play styles a little bit. Now that JonSlow's really going to go aggressive here. With that Redemption, that makes that Siege Workshop almost completely useless for Glokken, in my opinion.
Glokken doesn't notice this happening, but his Siege Workshop seemed pretty preemptive, and the amount he slammed on stone instantly. So I'm assuming maybe he house scouted through the fog to see the Siege Workshop there.
Yeah, and in a way, this is kind of caused by losing that scout.
Kind of skill, so.
Now kind of mocking him outside the walls. But that town center is going to go down pretty quickly with these monks defending the mangonel. They're going to be able to get conversions on the mangonels to come out from Glokken. So now Glokken under a lot of pressure, and he's got to go up to the next stage relatively quickly, and I'm assuming hand cannons would be the option, or a castle. Castle should come down relatively shortly from him. Hopefully he'll be able to get it down.
That's what he's planning for.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be able to get that castle down before, you know, those mangonels are able to move in.
I was just double checking to make sure Glokken didn't select the wrong imp TC.
Yeah, that'd be terrible. But I would even done the imp a little bit further back. A ram coming out for JonSlow, so that's going to get him through those walls much quicker. and those mangonels. So that's a lot of aggression coming from JonSlow. JonSlow even upgrading the pikeman upgrade. And if he starts to make pikemen now, it's going to really delay his Imperial Age, so he's really investing into this push.
There's a castle coming up where I expected it to. This is really going to stop terror, really.
Yeah, it's going to be a good castle.
He needs to wall up a bit more just in case something more is coming, maybe eagles.
Yeah, absolutely. Try to take such a small investment and really prevent such a big risk. Glokken now upgrading Fletching, probably for his castle, but it's going to add a barracks now, so going to think about transition to military. He's up to 90 villagers, 10 more than JonSlow, so he can make something out of this. JonSlow still investing into a lot of food upgrades.
Well, I mean, Terror was never going to really imp that fast, as I was saying. He just... I think adding 3rd TC was a big mistake for Terror.
Yeah, it's kind of like, why do you need so much economy if you're going to be pushing right now? It would have been better to push a little bit earlier.
This push is using a fraction of the economy he needs. And he needs to imp to have the text and whatever he needs.
I find his houses in the back a little bit amusing. It's like what you see from a new player.
This isn't a new player game? What? Not entirely sure what we're going to see here from Glokken. I think maybe a second castle and maybe he's just going to mass the trebs. I would like to see Arblast, but I don't... Are we going to see Arblast? Or is he just going to go straight into AC?
Looks like hand cannons. I think hand cannons a better choice considering that you can see eagles from the Aztecs.
Well, he's getting fletching just for the castle, apparently.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a little bit odd. I mean, I would prefer to see Arblast because unless Terror imps really quickly and those eagles actually get some decent upgrades on them, they're not like a problem for quick Arblast.
Yeah, certainly the Arblast goes better for the Portuguese bonuses though. Glokken just playing defensive right now. He's got a 20 villager advantage. He probably can sense that, or at least knowing JonSlow. And gonna go with the Arquebus tech immediately, which is pretty interesting. I wonder if he's gonna start making hand cannons. That's a little bit risky to go against Aztec monks, even with some very strong bombard cannons.
Well, I quite like the little debate there. Terror started to convert Glokken's market, but then Glokken finished researching what was it, Bracer, and just killed the monk. That was quite good. I'm not entirely sure what we're gonna see here. I want to see a lot of bomber cannons, really. Like mass. His Glokken's out of room in his base, really, though. Not entirely sure what he wants to go for, but I would probably go for... I mean, HC is fine, but he still needs BBC or something just to kill the rams.
Well, it's a little unfortunate that JonSlow really won't gain any access. He'll only gain access to one stone with all this map control. Interestingly, there is a stone and a gold on the left, which maybe either player can access a little later on. Here's the first bombard cannon from Glokken. He's killed his own monk. That's pretty funny.
Terror finally now getting block printing. He hit imp and he didn't really click those important monk upgrades. But Glokken getting siege engineers, the extra range really helps against the monks.
Yeah, so this is a lot of very expensive upgrades for these bombard cannons. We've seen Arquebus, it's an expensive tech. Siege Engineers is certainly an expensive technology. They're really going all in into these bombard cannons. I can't imagine that Glokken has played too many games, Portuguese, against Aztecs to know exactly how the bombard cannons are going to work out against the monks. But, you know, he's going to take a good bet that they're going to work out.
I'm just curious about what Terror's up to, because he is getting some upgrades into these eagles, but he's not actually getting even Eagle Warrior upgrade. But they're on +4 attack, +2 defense.
Well, it looks like he's prioritized the Siege Ram upgrade, and that's going to be very hard for... It's not that easiest for bombard cannons to stop Siege Rams. Certainly hand cannons are not great against Siege Rams. So that's probably going to mean Glokken's going to have to transition to something else to be able to deal with the Siege Rams. And... the thing is that Glokken probably doesn't know the Siege Ram upgrade's being done right now.
Well, the Siege Rams aren't going to be that big of a problem, but yes, the bomber cannons, if he has like 5 of them, but I mean, look at Terra's eco. I think maybe he could mass. Yeah, those 5 Rams there is about what I was going to say. He can mass at max. It's going to be very good for him. I mean, he's probably going to get the castle down. The castle's just buying time right now, though. I mean, I was going to say Terra just doesn't have the food economy to make what he wants to work happen. But luckily, he's not using his TCs, so he's not spending his food either. So
I hate this. I hate this whenever I'm playing as a monk civilization and you think you're doing great. You research so many monk techs, your monks have so much HP, and then you realize your opponent researched heresy. So heresy coming down from Glokken, meaning his units will not get converted, they'll die instantly. That's going to be a huge bummer for JonSlow when he sees that's been researched.
yeah, but you know, for the cost of 1 conversion, he could actually take out bomber cannons, you know, near 500 resources. It's pretty expensive. So even with heresy, it's still good. It's just not, you know, twice as good as it could be.
Which goes to show how powerful monks can be. But look at JonSlow has tons of army right now. Both players have tons of army. It looks like 1 bombard cannon did get converted. And I wonder if JonSlow's going to commit here or he's going to stay right where he is.
I'm a bit confused here as to why Glocken's not just pushing with his HC and then having the bomber cannons behind just to snipe the siege ram, because all he has to do now before more units mass up is just straight up send HC forward.
Do you think JonSlow probably shouldn't go onager here? Probably should just keep massing Eagle Warriors, keep massing Rams.
Yeah, I mean, his plan right now is really good. The Eagle Warrior's absolutely solid plan, but something I'm a little bit worried about is why Glocken doesn't have a stable, but he's getting cavalry upgrades. I can actually genuinely see something like, you know, light cav working out here. But
yeah, definitely. Something needs to be done about, I think, about the Rams. The bomber cannons are doing a pretty decent job. One of them got converted, but there's still so many here for Glokken. It's such a great thing that Glokken has had those extra golds. Finally building stables on the left. This is the biggest engagement of the game as the siege Rams are going into the hand cannons. Most of the Rams are down. And this might be a hold from Glokken. However, he's going to have to push out eventually. Here comes the Eagle Warriors as the most of the Eagle Warriors are going down pretty quickly, and this looks like a pretty good engagement for Glokken in my opinion.
well, yeah, but where are the monks? Terror had monks. He only had a few in there. He didn't have enough. If Terror had more monks in with his Eagles there, I think he could have really turned the tides of that engagement. But he just had so few monks in that.
Yeah, and I have to say, great engagement, great use of the bombard cannons with Glokken, not getting them too far forward, not having them go after the monks, but instead having them go after the siege rams. And I think that arquebus technology, that can be very powerful, especially on the bombard cannons, and especially going against rams. I don't know if Glokken would have been able to handle those as many other civilizations. And now the light cavalry's transition starting.
Portuguese have no hussar, but light cav is still fine. I don't see him researching it, but you know. But I reckon like just going full straight light cav would actually be, you know, enough to cause enough damage to Terror. Just with a few hand cannons behind, really. That's all he needs.
Yeah, so right now, Glokken with a lot of momentum, he just took a great engagement. It's going to continue to push in. Probably will get a lot of these military production buildings. Remember, JonSlow still not at 120 villagers. He's at 100 villagers. So his economy is not the greatest. Researching Garland Wars now. Doesn't really have any counter to the hand cannons. Maybe should consider the very strong skirmishers of the Aztecs. What do you think that JonSlow should do in this position now?
What? Terror does have all 5 relics. I would personally try transition to Arblast now. It's not like he's going to struggle for gold in the later game. I mean, Arblast here is just going to be really strong. The BBC are not quite that good at sniping them, but still decent, but he has the siege rams. So Arbram here could actually be quite a good combination for him if you wanted to go it. Because he's not VS, you know, +4 heavy cavalry, it's just light cav, it's not hussar, it's not cavalier, it's just light cav, so he's not going to have a huge problem if he wants to go Arblast.
Gonna try to take another engagement here. A lot of the Eagle Warriors coming forward. Most of those hand cannons are still remaining. This is where the light cav really come into play. They need to act as the meat shield. Glokken doesn't have that many light cav. Gonna bring 4 more from the left and hopefully try to protect the hand cannons. I think the hand cannons are gonna take a good engagement here again. And JonSlow should get pushed back. I think that bombard cannon attacked the hand cannons.
Yeah, those Eagles getting cleaned up was really the finisher there.
Yeah, and there's the GG. Yeah.
Terror did a really good thing by garrisoning his rams, garrisoning his eagles inside the rams, and then going up to the HC and yeah, killing them, getting the snipes in. But then he didn't re-garrison. He really should have, and then he definitely could have got a lot closer. And I don't think he could have won that engagement, but he could have at least bought enough time, because he needs to buy time when there's like 6 Arquebus BBC mowing down your buildings. So, well played by Glocken though.
Yeah, well played. My thoughts on this game, I think that JonSlow, by gearing his economy, I remember you mentioned the third town center as being a big mistake, and I can kind of agree with that. I think that's really where the game was decided, in deciding to go for that third town center, delaying the push, not really committing to one strategy or another. Once that castle was up, that really shut down the push from JonSlow, and I think just really a lack of commitment from JonSlow into going for one strategy or the other.
Lack of commitment, you got that one right.
And I gotta do one more shout out to those houses in the back. That just all the houses have just continued to expand, and that's just pretty funny.
I kind of feel sorry for Terra in that regard. Such a large back area and basically nothing in it. So wanted to build.
Yeah, little unfair. This certainly was this was the best way I think Glokken could have played his map. Go for a boom. Research those very expensive technologies. Certainly the arquebus bombard cannons were very strong, and the hand cannons as well. And then the transitional light cannon was just a perfect game played from Glokken, in my opinion.
I mean, the one weird thing from Glocken is that he did add the 4th TC. I think it worked out well, but maybe if it was me, I would have probably gone for just 3 TC, because it's still a good enough economy to go into HC BBC quite cheap. And you don't need Arquebus that desperately. As you can see, he didn't even really use his BBC and HC for at least, a few minutes after he managed to get them. So maybe 3 TC would have been a bit better. He would have just pushed back really quickly, but in the long game he did have quite a good macro above Terror.
Alright, so with that, let's take a look at the achievements. See if there's anything interesting here. Probably not.
Glocken has, pretty fair imp time.
Look at that KD. It's 150 to 60. And only 9 units converted.
You gotta remember, most of those units that died were really expensive eagles, so.
Better economy for Glokken all the way around. Except for gold.
4k relic gold from Terror.
Yeah, a lot of relic gold
hefty
for such a short game.
Aztecs OP.
Not this game.
Well, I mean, we're talking about in Terror's hands here, so. Was it game?
Yeah, we're gonna go to game 3 next. Would you like to take a small break, or would you like to continue straight into the game?
I need to quickly go grab a drink, so.
Sure, okay. We'll come back in, say, 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Okay,
I'll just be back in a couple of minutes. It's up to you how long you want to take.
Okay, we'll do 5 minutes. Muted myself. Oh. Alright, so we'll be back in 5 minutes then. I hope you guys enjoyed that first game. I love to see the chat so active today. We have a lot of people in the chat. I did see all your chat. I was reading it throughout the game. It's hard to comment on it as we have a co-caster. I saw all your chat, Lone Courier. No, you weren't first. We had someone else claim first today.